Yeah, what's good, YouTube? I just being a beat right now, and I'm gonna show y'all how I use my mixer to make this beat, to mix down this beat. And yeah, just the beat. It's pretty much beat, sample some Bill Evans, and yeah, first thing I did was make the drums. So I have a drum set right here. I really just mic'd it up, recorded the sounds, the individual sounds, the kick, snare, hi-hats, ride, the toms. So yeah, I made the hi-hat first, and the snare, kick, toms, and the ride. Start off with this. At this point, I didn't mix nothing yet. I just made the beat, get a groove going. And then that day, I did this yesterday. I was listening to the records I bought. I was playing 2K, just listening. And then the Bill Evans sample came to mind. So then I got the Bill Evans record. I put that on there, and I did this. It was like horns and shit. So I pretty much just made the beat first. And then I added like the bass. And today I added like little stuff, like another bass line from the record on top of the synth bass, and then some like piano key portion. That's the whole beat. And I just change it up like on after 4 bars right here to this part. The drums stay the same, just the sample that changes and the bass. So yeah, that's the beat, and I'm gonna show y'all how I mixed it on here. Like how I was saying, these are all the tracks in the beat. The first 5 tracks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they're drums. Track 1 hi-hat, 2 is snare, and 3 is kick, 4 is toms, and 5 is ride. So then going to my first one, right program, I go to mode, mixer, L out. I have them all on mixer channel 4. Can y'all see that? Yeah, so all the hi-hat goes to my mixer channel 4 on the mixer. So yeah, I pretty much just do that with all the drums. So I have like the snare going to channel 5, I have the toms going to channel 6, and then I have, let me go to the other one. Yeah, so the toms channel 6, snare is channel 5, the ride channel 3. Oh shit, I didn't use that. And then the kick channel 7. I'm gonna show you now the mixer. Okay, here's the mixer. Like what I said, 5 snare, 6 is tom, 7 is kick, 4 is hi-hats, 3 is cymbals. Yeah, the ride, yeah. So then I just adjusted it. I used the gain to get the tone I want, and then I used the faders to fucking level out the shit. In this instance, number 4, the hi-hat, I took off a bit of the highs and high mids because it was too much, and I took out all the lows, the mids and the low end, and then I have a bit of reverb on it. The snare, I put the gain up a little higher to make it like distort a bit, and then I have some reverb on it. Same shit with the toms. I like my toms distorted, so I got a bit of gain on it. And then the kick, I took a bit of the mid-high out because it was, I don't like that tone. And no reverb on it. So yeah, from the back of the MPCs going to here to these cables, and that's how I'm using this mixer. And then for the sample, the horns, the thing about the MPC outs is MPC got the effects, right? You can use the effects like phase shifter and reverb, but you gotta go through the stereo outs to use those effects. Because if you have a sample going to the outs, 8 outs, the effect doesn't work. I don't know if y'all knew that, but I'm telling y'all. And then so for the sample, which is my track 6, I have that going to stereo because I'm using the phase shifter and reverb effect on it. You can hear it. Alright, so yeah, that's going through the stereo outs, and then I'll show you the stereo out right now on the mixer. This is channel 9 and 10 is my stereo out for the MPC. So the sample with the effects is going through here. So what I did is I have the drums playing, right? Just the drums themselves, and then in my head I hear a space for the horns. I don't know if that makes sense. For the space on the horns, I just press the sample in it, and I mix it to where I hear that space, if that makes sense. And so yeah, that's how I mix it. And then, but since it's stereo, I have like other sounds also going to the stereo. I have to keep that in mind. If I want those other sounds to be like in the back, I'm gonna have to mix it down on the MPC, because all the sounds are going through here, not just the horns. That makes sense. Because if it was individual out, it could just have the horns on channel 8, right? But since this is a stereo one for the MPC, all the sounds that are not assigned to 8 out are going through the stereo. So yeah, once I got the horns mixed in with the drums good, and have the texture shit on top of it, I added the bass. So yesterday I added the MS-20. I just had the sub going, but today I added another piece from the record, like the bass line, and I layered them together, so I have the bass, on the very, very low end, just to make you feel something, and then the track 10, which is the bass, it's really just the mid, so you can hear the bass tone of it, or the bass line. I'll play it. And I'll show you how I mixed on the mixer right now. So my sub is going through channel 13 and 14, and my bass, the sample, is going through channel 1. So I don't know if you can see the EQs. For the sample, I took out quite a bit of the lows, because really all I wanted was the mid highs, no, the low mids, I mean. But I did want some of the highs, so I didn't take all of it out. It's like at a quarter, and then the low mids are like a tad off. And then for the sub, I didn't want none of the mids, so I took out the mids and bumped up a little bit of the sub, because I wanted to thump. All motherfuckers feel it. So then if you I paired them together. That's how you hear in the sample. Right, I make sure none of it was clashing, that they're well on top of each other. And then to further confirm this, I mixed it with the drums too. So I just had it, that and the drums. Make sure it was loud enough. I wanted the bass, the low end, to complement the drums. I wanted them to go together. And once I got that matched up, I just added the horns, and then you're getting the rest of the beat really. An important part, or an important thing I keep in mind when mixing, is they can sound good individually, you know, soloed out. Like, you know, the snare could be the best snare ever by itself, but how does it sound in the mix? You feel me? So I, like, during the whole mixing process in my mind, I try to mix it as a whole beat. I hardly ever do solo mixes, tweaks, unless it's like very like the bass. And yeah, I just try to make sure it fits good with the rest of the beat. So if I tweak something, I have to play with the whole entire beat and make sure it sounds good. So that's why in the bass, I did the bass first, see if it's layered up, they're not clashing. Then I added it with the drums to make sure the volume was right with the drums. They're complementing each other. And lastly, I had to mix it in with the horns. I had to make sure it's in the right level where I want it. So it punches you, you can feel it, but it's not overbearing. It's not going over the horns, because I want that to be the main piece. Alright, so then lastly, add like some type of keys in the shit, just to add like more weight to it. Like, I don't know, I feel like it was dissonant. So it's dissonant for like the verse, for the chorus part, but it resolves during the verse part, which is cool, I feel like. I'll show you right now. Alright, so lastly is track 9. It's these like keys, or like a chord. It's like a tone, note. And right here it changes. Right here. You can hear the. That's going with the horns. See how like it resolves a bit, or like, I don't know. I think it was cool. So yeah, now if you add all of them together, oh, and then the keys, the chord thing, that's in the stereo. So that's what I meant by, you gotta keep in mind when mixing stereo, the stereo signal of the MPC, because the horns and that are like together in the mixer. Yeah, so that's pretty much the beat. Then, you know, I can take off shit to like make it interesting. And then the beauty thing about having a mixer is you can mute stuff. Like, you don't gotta use, you can use the track mutes on MPC, but you also use a mixer to fade in instruments, fade out instruments, or even just the master. You can just fade out the beat, fade in the beat. Man, the world is yours with this shit, you know? Just have the bass and drum, or just the bass. Everything. And yeah. One thing I do need to mention is when I was recording in the sample, I don't want to play the sample now, but when I was recording in the sample, I used an effect on the sample while recording it in. It's the lo-fi processor on the SP505. So I just had the filter like about here, the bit rate at 8, and then the sample rate like around right here. It just made the sample real low quality, not low quality, but you know, it made it dirty. I'll hear it. It made the sample real dirty. You can hear it. That's what I was going for. And I feel like that texture adds to the beat. I know the beat's real simple, but I feel like the sounds of it, like the toms of it, like how they go through the mix, the dirtiness of the sample, and just the music wise, it's real full. So that's why I like this beat. Like that's dirty, bro. That's the bass. These are my chops. Showing you my chops. And then I already showed you that. And there's the that's another beat. So yeah. So yeah, YouTube, that's pretty much how I mix this beat. That's how I use my mixer. I wanted to show you how I used it in case, you know, for inspiration for you, or I don't know, maybe you wanted to learn how to use it, how to do it. I showed you my process, how I do it. It's not the right way. There's no right way. It's whatever way you do it, you feel me? But yeah, that's the mix, that's the beat. I was gonna say something else. Oh yeah, so once I got the whole beat mixed, you know, it's all in the mixer. I like how it sounds. I go to FL Studio. Look, so that's the one I did yesterday. I don't like it, so now I just like, you know what? I'm just work on it today. So yeah, I go to FL Studio. I open up Edison and record it into here. You can use whatever DAW, you feel me? Ableton, Pro Tools, Cubase, Reason, any of those. Anyone. Alright, so this one where I freestyle the beat into Edison, and y'all hear what I make.